What fire springs forth? What bile does bubble? The black moon swings, the sky stirs trouble. By violent ends, we kill the light. Through the shadows, madness beckons. Weird at night.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome, everybody. This is Patrick Galactic, and you're watching Weird at Night. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Sing it, baby. It's a beautiful song. It's a painful song. It's a wonderful song. It's a song of joy. It's a song of hope. It's a song of galactic union with the spirits. Hi, everybody. It's really nice to see you guys again. Blazing Space, nice to have you in the chat tonight. We're going to have a good show. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you very much because in the last episode, I was able to really talk about something that was extremely real for me and extremely painful for me. And you guys really lifted me up. You made me feel like I had a place to do that. And to do so on a platform like Twitch in the open air like this isn't easy. But what I guess the intention of all of this is to just show you that we can do this, right? We can have these conversations and we can talk about hard things. There's just people sometimes who try to convince us that we can't. And I am sorry, but my damn iMovie stupid shit is just going crazy on my screen right now, and I am trying to get rid of it. Get out, get out, get out. I hate you. I hate you. Okay, I killed it. All right. But what it allowed for was for me to have a really great cathartic experience that just helped my healing and helped me feel better. And for that, I want to say thank you so much. That's exactly why I created this community, not just for a personal support group, but just for a general community where we can share our experiences, no matter what they are, whether they're good, whether they're bad. So thank you so much. Also, want to just say thank you to everybody who's been sharing the show and giving feedback. I've been getting a lot lately, and I really appreciate that. A lot of great suggestions, a lot of good, valid constructive criticism, which is exactly what this community is for, is to you guys tell me what you need at this time of night and these kind of circumstances. I want to make it happen. I want to make it jive with what I do, and I know we can. So don't hesitate. Just shoot me an email, weirdatnight@gmail.com, and we can engage in kind of a creative repartee. What do you say? So there's some news that I want to get to early in the night because I think this will be good news for a lot of people. We're moving to midnight starting this Sunday. So there's one circumstance that's a little weird that I don't want to dwell on right now because that's going to be mentioned in just a minute. But we are going to start airing Weird at Night at midnight on Sunday and Wednesday every week. So no more staying up till 2 a.m. just waiting for this thing to begin. I kind of did that initially to try and just let the show grow, make myself feel comfortable doing it. And now that I do, I think it's time that we bring this to a place where people can access it a little more easily. So people told me if it was a little earlier, I heard this over and over and over again. If the show is on a little earlier, uh, people would be able to watch it. So I just want to make it so that people can. So we'll be moving to midnight, but there is one big thing before we do that, and we're going to celebrate in a very big way. And I'm very excited about this because um, we're doing something really special. I'm working with Blaze in Space, Astral Media, and Shayna Shepherd to bring you the Lonely Weird Trip to the Moon. It's 3 streams, one night, one channel. Friday, May 22nd, this Friday, that would be this Friday at 8 p.m., starting 8 p.m. Pacific. Shayna's going to do what she calls the Lonely Girl Sessions, which is an incredible, vulnerable, um, intimate performance by somebody who is just a incredible performer. I mean, I know I just said the word performer like 50 times, but she is an absolute dynamo, and somebody that in the Seattle music scene, everybody has quickly learned to respect. So very excited to share the stage with Shayna, who will be starting at 8 p.m. and playing till 9 p.m. At 9 p.m., Blaze in Space, in collaboration with Noel Brass Jr., Earshot Jazz cover boy Noel Brass Jr., will be presenting a remixed, rescored version of A Trip to the Moon, which is a movie that's about 102 years in the making, or 112 years. I don't remember. But it's a very old movie that is that was recently loved, kind of restored and finally made available in kind of this major way. And Blaze in Space can totally correct me if I'm way off here. But it's one of those hey Zim, how's it going? Good to see you. Um it's one of those things where it's uh Blaze in Space adds their very, very unique, and as you've seen if you've watched the show for any amount of time, and you might even see if you continue to watch tonight, Blaze in Space has a very unique way of interpreting film, interpreting um uh other things like interpreting visual presentations and giving them a distinct presentation of their own. So, if that makes any sense, I hope it does. But I will then be following Blaze in Space and Noel Brass Jr. at 9:45 ish with a special edition of Weird at Night. For the first 15 minutes from about 9:45 to 10, we're going to have Blaze in Space, Shayna Shepherd, hopefully Noel Brass Jr. Um, excellent. We will have them in the chat room, and we'll talk about, we want it to be very participatory. So we want you guys to definitely log in and make sure that you get a chance to talk with Shayna Shepherd, and she'll answer some questions if you have them for her, and as will Blaze in Space, as will I. And I'll facilitate that conversation. And then I'm going to do about a half-hour version of Weird at Night. Very special presentation. As I said, about 9:45, but you only have to go to one place. And I'm going to throw it up in the chat right now. Not in a vomitous way, but just in a... I'm going to put it in the chat. Is that what the kids say? I don't know. There we go. All right. So just RSVP to the Facebook event, and it will tell you everything you need to do to make sure you can watch it. So that is that business. I believe that is that business. So, should probably pull this down. Isn't that cool though? That we are moving to an earlier time. We are moving to midnight. I'm very excited about this myself because honestly, I'm tired as hell most of the time when I'm trying to get ready for the show. I'm also very caffeinated most of the time. Caffeinated, dehydrated, excited, tired. So, last episode, I talked about Hilma af Klint, who was a abstract painter who painted in a time where women in art were really not regarded um, at all with the same level of um, uh, I don't know, a critical acclaim, the same kind of critical recognition. Hilma af Klint's first painting, first abstract painting, was in 1906, which precedes Kandinsky, I believe is the way you pronounce that. Um, and the reason that's significant is because he's celebrated as a founder uh, of a movement of abstract art. So we talked about her and about her story, and then people kind of, shared their experience with her work with me afterwards. That was really cool. So I actually just came across this today as I was poking around, which is that there was just recently a movie, Beyond the Visible, that was put out. Um, it's about the work of Hilma af Klint, and uh, let's see here. And here's a brief bio thing, kind of. But I had some reservations because my roommate pointed out to me. I said, "Oh, looks like this is kind of produced by people who really love her work," and he rightly said to me, "So you're just going to tell people to watch it without you watching it? Because if you notice here, it does screen for $12, which in another time would be no problem, but right now, not the greatest time for me. So $12 is a little too rich for my blood." But I did take some time to go and look on Rotten Tomatoes to see what's been said so far. Now, what I see here is that the movie, the release date is says April 17th, 2020. I highly doubt that, obviously, because during so that if that was the American release, I'm sure that's been staggered back to some other time. But what I thought was really cool about this was that the reviews that have come in are, top critics, uh, only 5 ratings, but they all rated it very highly. You can dive in further if you want to, and I can give you the link in the chat to read more about this and to learn more about Hilma af Klint and her place in history. So, what I actually thought was cool is when I went to Rotten Tomatoes, they had some really cool pictures from the documentary. So, this is a picture of Hilma af Klint. I'm not sure when from, but I imagine the early 1900s because she looks fairly young. Um, this is a much better version of the painting that I tried to show you guys the last time. This is the one that grabbed me immediately. A friend of mine posted this on Facebook and with some information about the piece, the name, and it was just something I had to know more about immediately. And that's when I, just dove in right away. And then, there's some people looking, you get some appreciation for the scale of the painting. There's one of her, another one of her most highly regarded pieces. You can tell this kind of, it's so interesting to me because she dwells in some form of, um, trying to think, duality. There's duality to every piece of hers from this time. And, the rainbows down here at the bottom are a central theme, as we saw in the piece before here, that gradient. Um, so, you can look at all of these pieces from this time and kind of see central themes. But I wanted to show you this. Look at how large these pieces are. To have some sense of the scale, I mean, look at that. That's incredible. So, anyway, if you get a chance to um, see Hilma af Klint's art in person, I just can't recommend that highly enough because she was a visionary. and somebody that I think is deeply influential, but only really recently because people are only really recently aware of her. Uh-oh. I sent you guys down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. We're going back. We're going back. Dump. All right. Sorry about that. So, I'm going to throw the link to the documentary up in the chat right now. Just hang on here if you're interested in checking it out. I encourage you to because, as you saw, she was just an exceptionally influential and talented person. There we go. Hello to everybody who's joined us just recently. If this is your first time watching the show, this is Weird at Night. And this is basically a creative community, a haven for creative conversation. We just talk about either weird shit, or we talk about cool shit, or we talk about art shit, or we don't actually talk about shit. But you get what I'm saying. Let's see. So in in saying all that, why I started this little project was because, like a lot of people, I'm a musician and I'm trying to kind of gain recognition and intrigue and people's attention to some degree. I mean, I think that's the most honest thing I can say, but also, deeply, deeply appreciate the art. And, as time's gone on, it's just seemed that there's less space for more people, than ever before, and it's just an extremely frustrating thing. And sometimes, if I'm being very honest, what I would find myself doing is really narrowing myself to try and fit in what I thought might be necessary to get that attention and regard. And I've reached a point through doing this show, and this is where we get a little bit emotional, right? So, in doing the show and having this platform for utterly free expression in so many ways, I've really come to understand how important it is to do that in every aspect of my life, top down. And if you've been doing that, good for you. In the over 25 years of probably really, really bad personal, the way I treated myself was not great. Got caught in a lot of really unhealthy traps and trying to just be an artist, and I don't think that that's necessary. And what I also saw was just kind of this lack of conversation around purely from an artist's perspective, not the commercial or there doesn't seem to be a lot of spaces for genuine underground art anymore. And that's just something I don't think we can tolerate. Underground art will always should always be featured. It should always be something that we're introducing as important, because it's often, when given that moment, it's often incredibly influential. And that is your lesson about why I did the show. It made me feel good. I'm sorry if it didn't. Maybe it only made me feel good. So we have some very interesting stuff going on tonight. But before we go too much further, I think we should pay some bills. So we have a new sponsor. Weird at Night is presented by the new Real America Recommit, Recircumcise. Commitment is an act, not a word, brother. We welcome you, the new Real America. Thank you for sponsoring Weird at Nights. Also presented by Insecurity, Distrust You Can Trust, and the associated horrible things that are promoting those feelings all the time. People for the Ethical Treatment of the Extremely Wealthy. Patoo. We cage 'em, you pay 'em. And our oldest and most treasured sponsor, Shitty's Pizza. The hospital is next door. You know it, guys. Say it with me. You use promo code Why God Do We Suffer. You get a free depubing. Free. Normally $4.99. Limit one per customer? Sure. Do I get two? No, I don't. They're really strict. And very kind of ungrateful sometimes. But hey, you know what, shitties? We're grateful to you, even if you treat us bad. Yeah, you heard me. On the corner of Ninth and Nocturnal Drive, just past the memory of your first fully charged smartphone. Go out into the ether space, visit a shitties, and make sure, just make sure, guys. Whew. Well, I'm getting good at that. I gotta say. Don't you guys think? I do. Yeah. So, so. Last episode, my Twin Peaks update was pretty pathetic. It was basically that I hadn't watched it because my roommate has a job still. He's not just available whenever, like I am, or like maybe some of you are. But finally, he confessed to me that he had been watching the first 2 seasons behind my back. I know, thank you. Yeah, that was hurtful. Whatever. I didn't really want to watch it all again anyway. So that was kind of great. So that was cool. And he finished that up yesterday. We watched the last like 3 or 4 episodes of it together. And season 2 has this kind of nasty reputation among the Twin Peaks elite. And there's a good reason why. Some of it is really, really slow and just hard to understand why any of it is happening. But um the last couple episodes, and especially the last episode where they're in the red room, and what I was so struck by, and we were just streaming it, we weren't watching it on anything fancy, was just how impressive looking it still is the way it's shot and everything. It's just because there's no real special effects. It's just shot in a cool looking environment, and there's a strobe light, but it's about possession, it's about doppelgangers, it's about the expunging of one's soul, it's about so many things, but it's just exhibited in this very simple, minimalistic way that was probably far cheaper to produce than um that was probably far easier to produce than something that was laden with effects and would now look like shit anyway. So, you know, that was when Lynch kind of came back to the show, and it blows. It's just such a fantastic ending. And yes, as Carlos says in the chat, where's Annie? Where's Annie? Where's Annie? Where's Annie? Where's Annie? Yeah. So, we watched that, and then Matt said, "Hey, I should go to sleep because it's like 12:40." And I was like, "Okay, all right, I understand. I get it. I really do. I mean, you could go to sleep right now, or you could go to sleep, or we could watch Fire Walk with me." Huh? And Matt told me I'm going to watch 1 hour and go to sleep. And for some reason, I thought that was a good idea. So we turned it on. And Matt watched all of it. And I watched all of it. And Matt, at the end, said he has not seen the last season of Twin Peaks. So he said, without having seen that, he said, I don't understand why this movie was made. It just doesn't need to be there because it's about stuff that we already know. Now, I'm not trying to dig at Matt at all. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. I remember when I saw Fire Walk with Me, it was like, what the fuck? At first, because like Donna's not even the same Donna. And there's none of the camp, there's just none of the, kind of spirit of the original show. And so when Lynch announced that there was going to be more Twin Peaks and everybody celebrating and got really excited, I was kind of very interested to see what his interpretation of it would be today. And it's I don't want to go into too much of it because I'm not watching it yet. I hope you guys might consider watching it with me. But we will be starting the season 3 watch of Twin Peaks tomorrow. So if you want to talk about it on Saturday with me, why don't you watch like 3 or 4 episodes? Let's just talk about it because I've seen it twice and I'm going to see it again, but I want to talk about it because that stuff really stirs me up. So, I think, well, Blazing Space straight up said hates Fire Walk with Me. I get it. I get it. I really do. I mean, I don't hate it. I do but I do see um the criticism of it. I mean, it's creepy. It's really doesn't hold up well from a what we should be encouraging people to watch kind of perspective at all. I mean, at all. But yeah. Lynch, you know, he's got some blind spots too. That said, we will be watching Twin Peaks season 3 starting tomorrow. So, if you want to watch some episodes and talk about it next, we could talk about it on Friday, or we could talk about it when we start our first midnight episode on Saturday. You let me know. So, anyway, I'm just going to.
Hey, Galactic! Put me back on the screen. Bring me back. Am I on? Am I live? Okay.
Space.
Just to be clear, this is not Blazing Space, your friend. This is Blazing Space's avatar.
What?
The story in Blazing Space.
You're in the fucking
I
chat.
know a lot about a
Why
lot
are you chatting
of
and
shit.
drinking?
And one thing I know about is that I can interrupt any streaming digital show anytime I want.
Well, yeah.
Put that
Thanks,
gift back on the
Carlos.
screen.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
there.
you.
You're witnessing it right now.
Oh shit.
And I just want to say there's this controversy that Blazing Space was telling people to do drugs for their live stream on Friday night.
You were.
That's not what they were saying. Blazing Space is telling
He
people
did
to
say
do
that.
drugs safely for their
Okay.
live stream
All right.
this Friday night at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Do drugs safely this Friday night at 8 p.m. on Astral Media Lab. Take me away.
I'm just gonna try to move on.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Meredith, the weather report is now.
Hi. Hi,
Hey.
Patrick. This is
Yeah.
Meredith. This is the weather report. We got a lovely camera person.
Oh,
She's back here. Big budget.
great.
We're gonna do a little interview with the direct recipient of weather, a tree. Follow me.
like how I did the name. Weather.
Hi.
Spelled
Hi,
right.
tree.
This is cute. This is
I'm
so
a big
cute.
conversationalist, but I respect that. Keeping my distance. How's it
Come on.
being to be a tree?
Where are we? Who's
You see a lot of
filming
stuff
this?
up here, I'm sure.
Who's filming?
Yeah.
What are they charging?
That's about all I got, Patrick. Trees, not conversationalists. Join us next time where I actually talk about the weather and whether it matters.
God damn it!
You and Jim.
Damn it!
You
got
are-
me. The reason that I'm laughing so hard is because we make it about like a weather system, but this spelling is like whether or not. Oh shit. What's going on?
Oh, hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
I need to pay my camera person, so I just wanted to remind you, in case you had forgotten. $50 fucking, bitch!
Why doesn't Anyone just love me?
Hey, Galactic, put me back on the screen. Bring me back. Am I on? Am I live?
So, Twin Peaks, I say we try to watch maybe episodes 1 through 4 and discuss by next Saturday. So, well, yes, Saturday at midnight, Sunday at midnight, Saturday, Sunday at midnight. Yeah. Appreciate that, Blazing Space. We do need to be a little more specific. Okay. So we've had the weather report, and then we've had Blazing Space blaze their way right through the show. And now, following the trend of recent times, I'm going to share with you some album recommendations that I just think are great when you're trying to escape the stress or the anxiety of the current moment in our history. And the first, not super outside of the box pick, is Merriweather Post Pavilion by Animal Collective. This is my favorite Animal Collective record. I think it's a lot of people's favorite record, in the sense that it's critically acclaimed, but it's also very accessible. Maybe perhaps their most accessible work. They were kind of pioneers in the freak folk genre and had, kind of have always walked this line between being very abrasive and then being like incredibly beautiful and melancholic. And so it was cool. It's just a very dreamy record. It's like if Brian Wilson made a electronic record, and I think it was the furthest they had gone into that realm up to that point. And they've kind of been all over the place since then, as they're kind of known to be. That's just what they do. I don't always love everything they do, but I think that's sometimes the product of just being a challenging artist and somebody who's challenging people with your art and not staying in the same place. Sometimes I think the mark of a great artist is that they don't always make a great record because they're taking chances. And that's something you can always say about Animal Collective. So, my next rec is Mezzanine by Massive Attack. This is another not super outside the box pick because why? It's just a really great record. It's incredibly textured and dense and rich. It's scary, it's creepy, it's kind of sexy. There's so much innovation and uniqueness going on. I've already thrown both Mezzanine and Merriweather Post Pavilion in the chat. So if you guys want to check out those records, feel free to do that. And then, if you like Massive Attack, they're another band that just doesn't stay in the same place very long. They're always kind of moving around. They're always experimenting. And I feel like this was them taking the kind of soul and groove of what they had already done and incorporating kind of this heavier rock vibe to it, maybe a Nine Inch Nails-ish almost vibe, but short of that and far dreamier. So check out Mezzanine if you haven't, guys. You won't you just listen to it on headphones through anything, and you'll be glad you did. I promise. I don't promise. I don't know what you like, but I love it. And lastly, I went with an instrumental. Sketches of Spain by Miles Davis is just an absolutely fantastic listen. It's Miles Davis is another artist who never stayed in the same place for very long. He was always kind of popping about and trying new things and challenging himself and challenging his audience. And I think something that really seems like it's missing these days in popular culture anyway are artists that are truly able to challenge their audience and what their audience is able to handle, because I think everybody's too afraid of losing everything with every decision they make these days. You know, especially incredibly famous people. I don't blame them at all. I think that the music industry has been so fragile for so long that they're so happy to be where they are that they're not going to risk that. But there was another time in the music industry where that kind of creative experimentation was encouraged and it was celebrated. And it still obviously is to a certain degree, but I just don't see it in the public conversation as much. And that's a bit of a bummer to me. But be bummed to not, because you can go listen to Miles Davis Sketches of Spain. I think it's like 6 tracks maybe total, but they're longer instrumentals. It's jazz, and it's fused with kind of a Spanish, um, uh, I don't know, a Spanish staccato feel at times. And I think that it sounds like a dark night of the soul for the time that it was released. It's something that you can kind of like. Miles Davis just kind of, I listen to it when I just want to think things through. I don't want words, but I do want a vocal like melody. And Kind of Blue, Sketches of Spain, Bitches Brew. Those are great thinking records for me that need driving and thinking. Just give it a shot sometime. Find a great driving and thinking record. Or maybe even tell me in the chat, what is your great driving and thinking records? Because we all got them, I'm sure. I'm sure. So, me and Teddy, guys, forever and ever. Teddy Ruxpin is far less creepy when he can't talk. Like this one, we're working on something special. But that's for another time. So, oh, haven't even talked about this yet. As I'm known to do, is kind of missed the boat here. But I want to throw out a call to creators. I do this every episode, and it's brought in some amazing contributions from people. Let me take down this Miles thing. Miles Davis is also linked to in the chat. So if that's something that you're interested in, please do check it out. It's amazing stuff. Sketches of Spain by Miles Davis. This is a call to creators, though. I happen to have some incredibly skilled friends. Even if they burst into my show unannounced, even if they take over and tell people how cool they are, because they are cool, but they still take over the show, and that's sad for me. Anyway, even those people, they have given me amazing stuff to show you guys, and I have some more stuff to share with you soon. In just a minute, actually. But if you make music videos, if you make short films, if you make animation, if you are a visual artist, if you have a cool Instagram of stuff that you've done and that you would like to just have shown on the show, or you'd like to even talk about on the show, either in the chat or on a Skype call before the show that I can throw in here, it'd be great. I really do want to give you guys some kind of outlet as we grow the community here to put your work out, because I know that so many of you who are supporting me right now are also people making stuff yourselves. So I do want to get the really top shelf stuff. I want to get that out to the world. So there's a ton of you doing that. So also, we're not doing one tonight, but late night stories is still something that will be around for a long time to come. I've had the experience of sharing mostly my late night stories, but I have been able to share a few from other people. And quite honestly, it's been super fun. The people involved seem to have a good time. You can be anonymous. You don't have to be anonymous. It's completely up to you. Do you have a naughty story about late at night? You see some, or maybe you did some, scary story, strange, surreal story, whatever it is, as long as it's not a crime, we can put it on the show, Send your anonymous or non-anonymous or whatever the fuck you want to do to weirdatnight@gmail.com. And it just might be on the show. Because I think this is a really cool way to kind of bond with the other heads and the other weirdos and the other trippers and the other whoever's watching this show. This is how we come together. We got to create community. We got to take solace in something, guys, because there's a whole lot of fucked up going on right now, in case you didn't notice. I'm sure you did. With that said, I am really excited because some guys that I have always really admired agreed to let me show their video, their brand new video, Bubblegum Tree, on the show. Crazy Eyes are banned from the area. I'm really friendly acquaintances with Kellen, and I would say friends because I feel like in that brief acquaintanceship we have recognized a mutual connection somehow. Sorry if that's weird, bud. But even if not, his band is incredible. His work with other people that I've seen is incredible. It's very inspired work, and it's been an absolute privilege to be able to watch him grow and watch his his chosen form of expression grow. So with that said, here's Crazy Eyes and Bubblegum Tree.
Now I've gone and done it. Now I've gone and done it. Now I've gone and spilt my guts all over, and I've only just arrived. Millions of little sharks, a football cat brooch, hundreds of little beasties in a lifelike scene. Wake up, it's Christmas morning, and there's magic in the air. So I guess I am the child made me. Everybody gather round the bubblegum tree. Bubblegum tree.
Sorry about that. I turned my mic off so that I wouldn't sneeze while the Crazy Eyes song was playing. You did hear the video though, correct? Okay. So I had just muted the mic while the video was playing so that you wouldn't hear me like drinking and, whatever. Itching my nose. So that's not even it, guys. I do have something else to share with you. And that Crazy Eyes video was incredible. They are such vibrant creators and they really do stand for something. They really are about something. And as I said, Kellen is just a writer who just really completely inhabits that space when he's there. And it's really cool to watch. It's just something I greatly respect. So thank you guys for being on the show and letting me share that. What's really cool is that's not even all, because the next thing I'm going to share with you is from Terry Monstrosity, and it's a collaboration that Terry did with Blaze in Space, and I'm going to share a link to that in the chat. But while I do that, I'm going to cue it up right now. Here you go.
No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a care if they look crazy. Do what I have to make it. Out of my circumstance, I made it. Taking a certain chance, I hate it. But now we the favorite. No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a damn if I look crazy. Did what I had to make it. Now we the favorite. Tell me what I want, so case that stress not needed. Alone inside a maze and the rest not free. Best economy, but the net ain't credence. Clones better behaving, that's up. We've don't let them off easy. People gone crazy, enslaved into thinking. Portrayed as a weakling. Truth, there's an inkling. Oops, that's the deep end. Swoop back to reason. Clue using logic. School winning season. 2 to the noggin. I'm snoozing and sleeping. I'm new to the login. I'm moving the DM. A fool when it's popping. I'm super indecent. Scooping and shopping. The truth to the deacon. Nuclear dropping, just proofing that we don't care who is knocking or lose to the meeting. Molly is vlogging, let's march to the Legion. Sloppy your top is a flop. No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a care if they look crazy. Do what I have to make it. Out of my circumstance, I made it. Taking a certain chance, I hate it. But now we the favorite. No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a damn if I look crazy. Did what I had to make it. Now we the favorite. Now so full with the flow, fried snapper when it come to spitting. Transparent Kurt Wagner with the composition. Stone cold like them tablets with commandments in them. All stunner when I'm drinking like we laughing with them. Hardy hard, party harder when the check clears. Max efficiency, shifting to the next gear. All economy, the luxuries are breath here. Watch the company you keep, these your best years. Don't leave your third eye blind or have your tones deaf. Don't be prone to wait in lines and keep your toes wet. Stage acoustic with the wave, make a splash nigga. Lil Boosie with the fade, don't be no ass kisser. I'm black and sip brown liquor, flip crowns back and live fast bigger. You a last place trash bag ad flipper, and I'm a mad gab. Matter of fact, an ad libber, neighbor like passion and I'm mashing on my last dinner. Maybe couldn't give a care if they look crazy. Do what I have to make it. Out of my circumstance, I made it. Taking a certain chance, I hate it. But now we the favorite. No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a damn if I look crazy. Did what I had to make it. Now we the favorite. Now we the favorite. No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a care if they look crazy. Do what I have to make it. Out of my circumstance, I made it. Taking a certain chance, I hate it. But now we the favorite. No more living on a maybe. Couldn't give a damn if I look crazy. Did what I had to make it. Now we the favorite. Now we the favorite.
Wow. All jokes aside, Blaze in Space, you know I got nothing but love for what you do, and I think anybody who just saw that would say the same thing. That was just absolutely great stuff. Elevate the consciousness a little bit. Every time he sees Blazing Space production, Terry Monstrosity, check out his record, Copacetic. It's really, really good. This was my introduction to Terry's work, and I'm so glad that I had that experience. So thank you, Blazing Space. Thank you, Terry. And I've thrown a link to Terry's Bandcamp. Check it out. Check it out. And I do want to go back to two things that I do feel are important to repeat. And one of those is starting with our episode on Saturday night, Sunday morning at midnight. We will not be on at 2 a.m. anymore. We'll be on at midnight and we'll go till 1 a.m. So you want to do the pre-chat, you want to get in there with the community and really, this kind of thing. I've done it before. You can tell I have fighting experience. Anyway, if you want to do that, you get into the chat and you talk to people, and you start that at 11:30 while I play the weird waiting music, and then we'll all do the incantation at midnight and bless the new day in a new way for Weird at Night. Thank you guys so much. So there's that, and then before that even fucking happens, we're going to be a part of a very unique streaming experience. The Lonely Weird Trip to the Moon. 3 streams, 1 night, 1 channel. Friday, May 22nd. That is this Friday from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Pacific. Shayna Shepherd is going to kick it off at 8 p.m. and play we will be broadcasting the Lonely Girl Sessions, which is Shayna's one-woman show that is incredibly moving, incredibly inspiring. She is a revelation as a live performer. When I think of the people I really miss seeing on a stage, Shayna is absolutely one of the very first that pops to mind. So don't miss this opportunity. She's an incredible performer, an incredible songwriter, and somebody who I think everybody's just really, really come to expect a lot from because she is so skilled. Blazing Space will then take over at 9 p.m. and in collaboration with Noel Brass Jr. of Afrocop and Earshot Jazz Cover Boy will be collaborating on a movie remix and a brand new score for A Trip to the Moon, which is a heralded historic movie that was made, I believe, John, 102 years ago, 112 years ago. It wasn't available till recently. There's an excellent story about it that I encourage you to go check out. Look up A Trip to the Moon and read a little more about it, because what Blazing Space is going to present to you with Noel is very, very different than the conventional viewing, but still allows for you to see the history in the film. So it's going to be really cool. And then at 9:45, Shayna and Blazing Space will join me in the chat, and we'll have a special episode of Weird at Night that goes from 9:45 to 10:30 p.m. approximately. So the idea is from 9:45 to 10, we're going to have a very in participatory chat where we all talk about kind of what we just saw. Shayna's going to be there. Blazing Space will be present. We'll all be able to kind of talk to each other and kind of see what everybody thought and where everybody came from. And I'll ask some questions and hopefully provoke some conversation. I won't just keep babbling the way I am tonight, but I will babble tonight. So from 10 o'clock to 10:30, I will host a special edition of Weird at Night that will just kind of be something that I put together that's more in line with the themes of what's going on for the night. So I'm really excited for that. And then the next night we have our premiere episode at midnight. So with all of that said, I'm not going to play any music tonight. I want to tell you guys that I love you. I really, really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me that you guys are so involved, that you guys have so many ideas, And I hope you'll keep sending them to me, weirdatnight@gmail.com. Send me a whisper. Send, however you want to communicate, that's cool. Check me out on my socials. Check me out, the little panels on the channel page. Check those out. You can learn a little more about me and how long I've been doing this and what I'm trying to do with it all. So I really appreciate learning about you. Until Friday, I'll see you soon. Thank you very much.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.